just gonna try doing something different where I will show you guys my morning plan. I'll show you guys how I was reading the market and possibly narrate it for you guys. So before we get started, we have the Discord and our morning plan. Morning plan for today was we had buy stops above, sell stops below, per usual. We are lower in range, which could set up a balanced day, or a 71% chance of taking out either prior higher day or lower day. We could see a potential move up at the open, go down to this overnight low. But if we see value near IB high, we have potential for IB continuation to 5934. It's Monday, so stay patient. So this is how we were looking. We have prior value high above, 56%, prior value low, 59%. So not much really gauging us to go either way. We did have a pretty substantial pullback lower, and if you see right here, we have 5886 high volume node from this profile, which did act as support. So we could see this as retail finding this as too low. They were shopping over Friday. They were looking for the lowest price. They found it on sale overnight, and now Monday they found that price on sale. They're like, okay, now we'll just go back to the store, and where's going to be the next too high or where's going to be next too low. It's kind of how you can see it. So that was really that. If we did hold above 5911, we have buy stops, and we have this high volume node up here. And go to commentary. I haven't taken a trade today. Yeah, haven't taken anything. I came into the market kind of late. I had to do some stuff outside of trading, but we can see we had IB high, we had consolidation near IB high, and yeah, that kind of led me to not want to take shorts until 5932. Even then, I'm not really interested in shorts, and we can see it worked out. Even balance above IB high. So with that out of the way, we can go in here and narrate the day. Just gonna take that off my chart. Let's clean everything up for you guys. Hope everyone's having a good day, a good week. So here's the overnight point of control. So for the overnight session, this is the highest highest volume. So we can mark up here. We can mark down here. These are just areas that could act as support or resistance. And we also have this here, which is a low volume node from the overnight, which could be interesting, could not be. It's just something we can look for. So as the market opens, pull it in here. We'll get rid of the delta for now. Actually, we'll keep it. So we can see we have some decent selling delta, 331. Anything above 300 down here is, I think, as higher than average. So 310, and wherever this is, do this. Just gonna keep this raw and see how that goes. All right, wherever this is down here, so it lines up kind of. But we had the open, we had point of control shift lower, some balance right here. If you can see this balance, and buyers found this as too expensive, so we moved lower to find where's too cheap or where's too low. Down here we found an area where we possibly found too low. Let me put a buy box. And this is also prior point of control. So we have location, we have a level. Yeah. It's not negative point of control anymore, but it was at the time. So negative point of control here. We found this. This is the previous area of too low, where retail found this as too low. They found this as comfortable. We came back and tested it, which had a, if we go back here, prior point of control had a 67% chance of getting reached in the session. So we came from here, moved higher, back to where we had our previous point of control at the open and overnight point of control. Like I said, this could act as resistance, and if resistance stays, we'll have to see that as too high. So as the market moved higher, we had 315 delta, so some buyers possibly were getting trapped up here. And when they found this as too expensive, we pulled lower. Where do we pull over to? Well, we had here support, and this was too cheap or too low. And Friday's negative point of control and an area of a fractal consolidation. We had a decent selling iceberg. This is just really high selling delta, about 1500. And we can see down here, we move a little farther, came down, tested it, found this area as too low, moved higher. And we could also mark this area. It's all about fractals. So where's our fractals? We have a fractal back here, we have a fractal up here. Came back and tested where this was support is now resistance. So this is what we're doing. And if you're mostly focusing for longs, this is where you would want to be looking to get entry, as we have negative 541 delta, negative 828 delta. So a lot of delta here at point of control, prior point of control, area of consolidation, and volume. You could either think of this as, okay, we move lower. If we come under this point of control and retest it, so if we do something like this, and then move lower, that will give you a possible short if you wanted to this high volume node. Or you could think of it as, if we come back down, hold this, move above it. So we do this, we come down, back up, move above it. Where are we gonna go? Well, I would say we possibly head here. So let's enter around probably right here. That gives you to here, 2 to 1, which is my go-to at the moment. Let me delete all these lines. You guys don't want to see these lines. I'll forget about them. And as we had all this selling down here, these sellers become trapped. Where are their stops? Well, if I was short here, my stop would go about here or about here. And as the auction found this area as too expensive, as we return to it, they're going to be having the same discussion. Okay, is this too expensive? Well, not really anymore. It's just too cheap. We can move higher and see where's next too expensive. And point control never really shifted. So we can just continue moving on. We have some buying delta here. And we can do the same process. Look to the left. Where's our area of consolidation? Our fractal right here. And this is that low volume node I was speaking about overnight. So it did act as resistance. We came back down. Delta is pretty positive, so not a lot of selling at the moment. What happened? Okay, right here. We came back down, tested this fractal, which was previous resistance here. Resistance, support, support, support. That's another entry for longs if you wanted. Delete this low volume node, doesn't really matter to us. And we move higher. And while we're moving higher, you would expect point of control shift, but it never did. So we come here at IB, where's my arrow? At 930, right here. We form a stat called the IB high or low, the IB stat. Do I have a vertical line? Right here. So anything past this is the IB high. Like I said in my morning plan, if we consolidate near the IB high, we have a good chance of reaching this micro composite high volume node, which came from right here. That you see on the little bump here in the volume. If we're looking at high volume nodes and point controls on the intraday, we have to do it also on the higher time frame charts. So as we move higher, we have to look for where's our area of consolidation. Well, we do have this area of consolidation where we are seeing this area acting as resistance, then it turns support, and then it turns support again. One thing interesting to see is when we moved higher, we chop, 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 break high, retest. On the retest, we had negative 352 delta. You have to think about it. If you're getting short here, where's your stop? Well, possibly here. So as we move higher, we test this area, move higher, off this fractal, and then our new fractal is here. Fractals are just area consolidation. Where's the next area consolidation? Where's the next fractal? It's all going to be the same. We can see this acting as resistance, resistance, resistance turns to support. 419 negative delta plus an iceberg, showing that sellers are initiating here. We don't know if there's someone taking profit. We don't know what it is, but we know there's aggressive sellers here. Not more than sellers, there's aggressive sellers. And if you are getting short here, where's your stop? Well, right here, which also acted as resistance. So we can move our fractal even higher. This is continuous process of finding too high, too low. This area acted as resistance. We move higher, pretty decent buying delta. And on the pullback, negative delta. Do it again. Where's your stop if you're getting short here? Well, about here, which also was resistance. Why is this resistance? Well, we can see it as there's a passive seller sitting up here. Every time the market is getting up here, they are selling. It continues to sell. But as we move above the area, we can see it act as support. So we can move further. Buying delta, we're just moving higher. Area acted as support. And we can look for our next area of fractal right here. We had consolidation. Consolidation acted as, this was resistance. Chop, 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 break high, retest. Resistance acts as support. And where are we going for this whole time? We are going for this microcomposite high volume node, because the market is like an auction. Where did we find it at? I mean, not an auction, it is an auction, but it's like a grocery store. Where do we remember it being too expensive or too cheap? Well, in the past, this would have been too cheap, but as we got below it, now it's too expensive. Well, we need to go and retest those prices to see how we feel about it. Do we retest it and feel, oh yeah, this is too expensive. Let's just go back to where we were, back to the store. Where's our store? Well, down here is point of control, so this could return back to point of control, who knows? But we can also see it as like this. Let me shift forwards. If you look on this profile on the left, it's just the current one. This is higher than here, but doesn't mean this isn't here. So this was the higher time frame. Oh yeah, let's go check it. It's a little too expensive. Where's too cheap? Or where's too low? Well, right here is a pretty good area that we found comfortable. So we can move up. Some buying delta. We can mark this. Oh, we have this consolidation. Sell box. All right, resistance. We move higher. We test the high volume node. We come back. Support? Not really. We rejected a high volume node. So now this is our new consolidation. What acted as support or resistance acted as support. We can do this. What acted as resistance acts as support, kind of. And then when we get back below this area, it acts as resistance again. So we have a change in structure here. And we have a new fractal. So we come back. We do have this previous area that acted as support. But if we look at where's our next potential area, I would say this high volume node that we are currently at. And that brings us to the current. So what do we have right now? We have this high volume node. We'll just make this purple for now. We have this high volume node. If we can support and stay above this high volume node, we could possibly move higher. If we break below this high volume node and it acts as resistance, we could potentially move lower. Where is our next area of potential either stops or target? Well, if we go back here, let me hide this now. And let me back here, this was our initial consolidation above IB high, above the previous high. So we have this. Act as resistance, act as support. If we come back to it, we could possibly act as support again. And we can think of it, if there's a bunch of buyers here, if this area acted as resistance and it acts as support on the retest, you would think these buyers put their stop somewhere down here. Their stop could be here, it could be here, it could be down here. We don't know, but we can take a guess that there's probably some stops somewhere under this low. So as we come back and retest it, what acted as resistance acted as support, and it acts as support again. Now we do have this high volume area, so if we reject this high volume area, we could move lower. If we get above the high volume area, like so, we could move back up here and test these prices and see, okay, well, maybe this wasn't too expensive. Or, oh yeah, we're under this. Yeah, I don't like this anymore. Let's go to Wally World down the road and see what happens. So we're rejecting it currently. I don't have a trade at the moment. Just watching. But yeah, that was the current market. Little narration for you guys. I don't know if it was useful or if you guys got anything. The key takeaways I would say is just continue to watch the market in fractals. So this is a fractal. Let me do this. Here's a fractal. Here's a fractal. Here's a fractal. The market just continues to do this. Here's a small fractal. See, like that. Move higher. Here's a fractal. And fractal can be right on top of each other. Just like this. Just like that. And you can get the ones that aren't really needed at the moment. We could even say right here, that's a fractal. That's the key takeaway, I would say. We do have this over here, which is the same as this profile, basically just on a 15-minute. Nothing too interesting here at the moment. We can see we had this low here where volume kind of tapered off. And we peaked below this area, but we weren't really able to sustain below. So they found this area as too low. Well, where's too high? If it's too low, we do have this point of control for the 15-minute here. We do have this area here of high volume. 11. And you can see how that looks on here. Just something to think about. Where's high volume? It's all about volume. And where are we distributing an auction? Where are we finding too expensive, too high, or too low, too cheap? And now we're just between these two fractals. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Near value area high. Above overnight high. So overall we're moving higher possibly, but who knows? I usually stop trading around 11, so nothing here really much for me. If you guys are interested, I can make some more of these videos. Also, you guys can check out the Discord. I try to post my commentary, my morning plans, all my Sierra resources. And I have a video coming out eventually when I get to it, where I will make a video on how to get connected data, your chart settings, creating your intraday, higher time frame, and all these other charts. So everything I'm using here, I'll show you guys how to make it yourself. Oh, point of control shift. So we found this as too low in the past. I'm just going to delete these and just draw a line here, mark that, mark that. Oh, it's already marked for me. I forgot about that. So yeah, we found this as too expensive. If we get above this point of control and we retest it, we could move back up here. If we hold below the point of control and move lower, below these stops, move lower, possibly retest it, we could go back to where it was too cheap, too low. So if then scenarios, if we get above point control and hold, we could return back up here to 5932. If we get below it and hold, we could return back to 5894. Or who knows? All we have is maybe. What else? We have the Discord. I do recommend checking out the Bookmap Discord. Great place. Everything I'm learning is everything I'm telling you guys. I've been learning from here from Tom B. Great guy. He does a live stream every day. He's live at the moment, and he does basically what I just did here. He's way more knowledgeable. Maybe a little slower because I kind of rushed through it. But yeah, next new video coming in. Check out the Discord. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day.